Hey all, and welcome back to the HFC playthrough of Sonic Advance 3. We're actually inside Toy Story 5 right now. They put out a little summary just to kind of throw us off the trail, but no. Sonic and Tails are back. Buddy and Buzz. I did it again. I did that during the fucking Toy Story 3 run for the second digital Disney font, and I've done it again. You know what? I'm not going to talk for the rest of the part. It's all yours, Flame. Have fun.
Do you guys like Mega Man 8? Do you guys like the creepiest level in that game, Clown Man stage? Because if so, you're in for a treat here. If you're not a fan of that, then, well, you've just got to sort of endure Toy Kingdom. And I always say, I like that it's kind of a unique trope that we haven't really seen in Sonic.
Yeah.
But when you look at like the colour scheme and what they're doing with it, it kind of does feel like a less interesting gimmick version of the music level from the second game.
Ah, yeah.
Because like that one, although I still don't think that was the best possible use of a music level, it at least had a bit of character beyond just Clown Man.
I'm still kind of salty that Music Plant wasn't in the 3DS version of Generations, but you know, that's me. Oh, I'm back, by the way. I decided that it was a better use of my time to make content.
Well, you're not going to just sulk for the rest of the video, okay?
No, well, you know.
It means we get a sequel to that one short. We should probably do more of them soon.
Yeah, probably should. 2026, here we come. Lots of shorts. So, Richie, you've played a platformer or two before, yes?
Yes.
What's the weirdest trope you can think of, level-wise?
Oh, good lord.
Because this isn't too far off from the Carnival level trope for, you know, Sonic. It's just, it's a fair instead of a carnival.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's a very unique theme for Sonic, but I know for a fact that I've played Kirby games with toy themes.
Yeah.
I recently, as in sort of probably, it might have been last year now, bloody hell, I replayed one of the Rugrats GB, like, original Game Boy games because I had it as an original cartridge, but I never beat it because I was terrible and I was a child, and actually that game is broken as all hell. But that had a bunch of...
Ironically, you do not get a buff for being a child from playing Rugrats.
Yeah, but yeah, that had a bunch of toy levels, actually. So it's certainly not sort of unique. In terms of the weirdest that I've ever seen, I think it does probably tend to be some of the toy ones where they go a little bit bonkers. And I think it's just because they go, yay, let's be creative, and then, you know, you get into the, oh my god, it's a horrific clown moment.
Yeah, it's Mr. Fiend all over again.
Yeah.
To me, the one that sticks out the most is probably that one pencil level from the original Rayman. Because, like, Rayman in itself, its art design, the first game specifically,
right.
Like, the later ones kind of cleaned it up a bit, but, like, they were, like, that game was just living in the Uncanny Valley, and that was, like, the one that was just, like, that little step too far, I think, like, okay, this is a little bit strange here. A similar sort of thing going on in one of the Illusion games, but it felt a bit less out there in that one, I guess just because of the general tone of that game, it complemented it better, but yeah, also Rayman 1 is not a great game in general.
No, it's not. If you want to play a better game, Rayman 2 just dropped recently on NSO for N64, and also Tonic Trouble if you want to play like a Rayman-like, I guess.
It's hard to define what is a Rayman like when so much of the series is just inconsistent with itself, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I remember that was kind of the conclusion that Britt drew in his summary, in the fact that there are individual good games, but the franchise itself doesn't really have an identity. And I kind of agree with that, frankly.
Well, off the top of my head, I can think of Legends Origins, in terms of, like, recent ones. And I would say 2 and I think Hoodlum Havoc or Panic was Rayman 3. So 2, 3, Origins and Legends.
Yeah, I was the weird fucker who decided to go out of my way to get a perfect rundown on the first game.
I mean, it's fair, but Flame, it's you. It's like it's hardly surprising.
Yeah, it's a sickness.
Well, we know that, but I also did play the Saturn one, which has, like, even just that game alone has so many variants. Like, the PC one, I think, has different levels, so people who have played that version probably have no idea what I'm talking about. The toy level gives us nothing to work with, by the way. I don't know if that's obvious.
Well, let's see, what can I...
I mean, I suppose something that we can actually talk about is that it has been pretty much now over a year since we had our last proper Sonic game come out, which was Shadow Generations.
Beautiful.
And obviously it's been 2 years since we had our last 2D Sonic game, which was Superstars, which was not quite that well received, but you know, it was there, it tried its thing.
It was mixed.
It tried.
And obviously it's 3 years since Sonic's Frontiers. So I suppose my question for everyone is sort of, what are we expecting for the future of Sonic, considering where we're at currently and how it seems things are going?
Very funny you say that, Richie, because the next Sonic movie, Sonic 4 or whatever it's going to be called, because they're considering calling it something else, will feature Amy as a main character. You may select Amy now.
We will be doing that later, not quite yet, but Amy is a good character, so I will hold back. Amy's a good character gameplay-wise here, so I will hold back my opinions of her as an actual, like, her actual personality.
It's alright, we don't want to offend all the Amy Rose fans and shippers out there. Lord knows, we took a hit enough after that one game.
Hey, I mean, if I want to shit up the Steam forum with my weird one-sided hatred of Ian Flynn, that's one thing you can do with Amy Rose, right?
Oh, very good. I thought she was great in Frontiers, and I'll leave it there. Eggman, what the hell are you doing, mate?
This boss, Tails just ate shit there. But yeah, basically, what you're meant to do with the boss is just knock it off the edge. As you can see, I have found a way to do that with minimal effort.
Oh. This is like a more extreme version of, I think his name is Bazza, the first boss in Donkey Kong Country 3.
I can't remember the bosses from 3. Like, I remember really liking the general tone and atmosphere of 3, but most of the bosses outside of the final one are just... I mean, like, Donkey Kong Country bosses have always been kind of there, but, like... Yeah, it's not the part I remember.
Well, if you'll shut up and let me talk, it's a big barrel. It's just a big barrel with a face, and it burps insects, and you throw it back into its mouth.
I am unfortunately now starting to remember. But yeah, this is one where it's doing the Dimps boss thing, where you have to wait for the cycle to play out before you can actually do anything. And that's a trend that they kept up, and it's a trend that for some reason the Superstars developers decided to borrow as well.
Oof.
Which is part of why I don't like that game's bosses. Although in that game, I think what they were kind of going for with Superstars is that because it was trying so hard to be a multiplayer game, even though like getting 4 Sonic characters on the screen at once is a fool's errand. Like, I think the idea behind those bosses was that you wouldn't just have 4 people pounding on the boss at once and knock it out in one hit. But like, the trade-off for that is that when you play it single player, those bosses are just fucking boring.
So basically the Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days problem.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll see you guys in the next level, I guess, and it happens to be one of my favourite level tropes in gaming.
It's a really cool trope, but I'm going to compare it to the Advanced 2 version of the same trope, which was like 100 times cooler.
Ooh, them's fighting words.
If it's either a tech-based area with a dark colour scheme or a tech-based area with a really bright colour scheme. Or I'm thinking ahead, aren't I? Because I didn't read the list that I gave myself.
Oh, no you didn't.
Look, I never claimed to be smart. But we do have cool things going on here, because like I said, Amy Rose's gameplay style here is really cool, because if you thought the jump we got with Tails is cool, we get a gigantic jump with Amy, and the only trade-off for that is that we can no longer roll into a ball when we jump, but as long as you're being careful, that's not the end of the world. Look at that!
Yeah, that is quite the jump, although I am very disappointed that the animation is just her, you know, whacking the hammer rather than... Oh no, she did do it there, of flinging him upwards. It was just when she was stood on the ground that it was just a flat whack.
If there were ever to be a proper Mario and Sonic 3D platformer, I always envisioned that Mario would use the hammer like this.
Fair?
I mean, like, having a hammer's not exactly out of Mario's move pool, is it, after him using them in the RPGs? So, yeah, it would check out. I'm still mad that we only ever got Olympic crossovers. Like, come on, I know it's been years now, but, like, give us a proper game already.
Miyamoto says no, and also we covered the best one of those with Winter Olympics DS Adventure Tours mode, now available on HFC. Don't be confused by the narrator or announcer saying Olympic Winter Games. There, I covered what Flame was going to say. Now, Flame, why is the level in Advance 2 superior to this one?
Well, in this case, it's because, like... Well, aside from going fast and that, which I've already covered, but like I feel like this is going back to that thing I was talking about in the art design. I feel like this is the one where the general floor pixel art looks a lot more plasticky and more of an abstract, whereas both the Advanced 1 and 2 snow levels felt like more organic looking snow, rather than these like either plastic or metallic platforms made to look like ice.
Okay, I'm starting to see what you're putting down here.
My autistic quirk is finally being validated, thank you.
Oh, God bless you, Flame, God bless you. Now, just to get back to what Richie was dabbling in, what do we think the future of Sonic will be? Because Sonic Rumble finally just came out. I did a little stream of that. Probably won't be going back to it unless they release a Switch 2 version, something I can just play on the go and whatnot. But given what Kishimoto, the director of Frontiers, has been tweeting about and whatnot, we can probably expect something along the lines of Frontiers 2 with a lot of the enhancements that the DLC for Frontiers brought to the table.
Fair?
Yeah, I think the next big thing is going to be a Frontier-style game. Like, whether it will play exactly like Frontiers or whether it's just going to kind of build on it, we've just got to wait and see. But like, we've had the sort of things that they usually give us to buy time, you know, like we've had the 2D game, we've had the racing game, and like it's kind of bought them a few years now to have been working on that in the background, so I get the feeling it won't be long before we start seeing something like that.
Yeah, I've heard so many rumours, like it's a Shadow game, it's a Sonic Heroes remaster, and you know, Izuka comes along and shoots down the ideas of any remasters or remakes anytime soon, especially not Sonic Adventure, which, you know, kudos to him. I don't think that game would work with the current cast.
I don't think Adventure in the current year would work in general, because the kind of design mentality that went into Sonic Adventure, a lot of it, like, I really like the game, but I feel like a lot of it was because 3D gaming was still in this kind of experimental phase where they were just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. Adventure just sort of got the lucky draw with that. I feel if you released like a more polished up version of Sonic Adventure, even if it's like technically better, if it fixed like the more glitchy parts, the more jank parts, things like that, I think a lot of the character would be lost in the process. Same with Adventure 2 really, but Adventure 1 especially was very much a product of like the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't know how I ran through those spikes, but I ran through those spikes. That just happened, and it confused me at the time. But like, yeah, I do feel like a more polished remake of Adventure would suck a lot of the soul out of it, and that goes for a lot of remakes. I know there's a lot of discourse about remakes at the time, like at the moment, and I feel like Adventure is one of like the perfect examples of games that kind of you couldn't make a new version of that without something getting lost in translation.
You couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. They'd take one look at it and say, hey, this is Blazing Saddles, someone already made it.
I mean, I think you'd probably stand a better chance remaking Sonic Adventure 2 than you would the original Sonic Adventure. I think just because the way that story and those levels were created was much closer to, I suppose, the Boost games that we have now in terms of just sort of general game setup.
Right.
I suppose in a way, technically, the original Sonic Adventure is probably closer to Frontiers in terms of the way that it's set up, but obviously, gameplay-wise, it's so variable that I do agree that I think it would lose part of its identity.
Oh my god. Oh, my PTSD is kicking in. Sorry to cut you off there, Rich, but this is...
Oh, it's fine.
This is the Twinkle Snow Boss. It is capable of knocking you from the platforms into the bottomless pit below. It is an awful boss. No amount of rings will save you here. And Flame, I need you to take over now, because I'm starting to get angry.
I mean, I'm doing it just fine here. I think it sounds like a skill issue, Tom.
How many tries did it take you?
You don't need to know that.
I want you to give me an estimate. Did it go into the double digits?
Probably late double digits, yeah. It's hard to gauge that, because there's... When I do retakes because I need to do a retake versus when I do retakes because I accidentally went a few pixels over to the right on the first platform and it was unappealing to me aesthetically and I had a moment.
Being us is hell, chat.
Yeah. It's like, that's the kind of thing, to me, when it comes to these playthroughs, the Sonic LPs in particular are kind of a sacred cow to me, where I want it to be as close to perfect as possible.
Yeah.
When we've done other stuff before, every now and then I'll let something slide, but Sonic, I want to go fast and I want to look cool doing it.
With Mario, who gives a shit? But yeah, I was like that with Unleashed. That's kind of what caused me to develop some form of OCD. I don't want to, diminish actual OCD suffering by saying I had it, because I was never diagnosed, but it got pretty bad, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole thing of a lot of people do have obsessive symptoms or obsessive compulsive elements, but for the majority of people it never gets to the disorder bit. That's when it's obviously completely unhealthy. But yeah, there are people who do have OCD-like symptoms, and I think a lot of us do have them and do experience them, but certainly not to the extent that people who do actually have OCD have them.
I'll just say, to leave off on this point and move on, Generations suffered a lot because of that, the original playthrough, the one I did with FTA, Smoothies and Sky, and I feel like should you, Flame and I, Richie, cover the Shadow Generations version of Sonic Generations next year, because it is Sonic's 35th and we have to do something until the new game drops, it will be a much more casual and smooth commentary as opposed to the other one, which was kind of done piecemeal, if I'm honest.
That's fair, but also, we just kind of go into the chaos now, which is always quite fun.
Yeah.
We are in the Cybertrack level. I literally have it written down in front of me, and for some reason I was struggling to think of it. I am fucking stupid. But yeah, like I was saying earlier when I misread the list last time, I do think that the Advanced 2 base level had a much more appealing visual to it. And I will say, in fairness, I think part of what puts me off of it playing it nowadays is that this is one of those designs that was obviously built with the Game Boy Advance having a dark screen in mind.
Yes.
Totally.
And it was overcompensating for that, which it makes sense to do that on an original model. But it does mean that if you're either playing on an SP with a backlight or if you're playing emulated, then it looks a bit loud and it's a bit much.
I just like the backgrounds, honestly.
I've been sort of looking at the backgrounds and going, I know what this reminds me of. This reminds me of the Diaboromon bit of Digimon the movie.
Yeah.
I sort of get what you mean. Like I saw that film once, many years ago, but like the aesthetic is right there.
Flame, I have to ask, did you see the Angela Anaconda short beforehand?
I don't know what that is, so no.
Good, keep it that way.
And obviously my answer is, of course, because for some ridiculously bizarre reason, it was on the VHS tape, and nobody knows.
We had to watch an episode of it for class one time, for art class.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, what a hideous bloody show.
Good times? Question mark? Bottomless pits aside, which, it's kind of redundant to say given it's, a Dimps created level. I enjoy Cybertrack. This is one of my favourite levels in Advance 3.
It does do some cool things with like the gravity and the running in circles around those platforms and that's the sort of gimmick that like it's not exactly original to this game, but it always does feel it feels very Sonic-y, doesn't it? It's like it's the kind of thing that if you have a fast-paced character, you want to show off cool things with him, and that's a good example. This is the part of the hub world where it starts getting a bit much in terms of the like maze-like, because there are like trick teleporter things or warp tunnel things that send you the wrong way, and it's like the hub world is not the right place for that kind of thing.
No.
The hub world is where you just want to go to the next level. If you want to have puzzle sections in a level, then fair enough, that's kind of the point, but like no, don't, because like the hub world is a glorified menu. You don't want this to be like a Free Riders thing where the menu is the challenge. Come on now.
Do you think we'll ever get Free Riders on the channel, Flame?
I will say sort of, because I have seen that someone has put together a mod that uses regular controls, and I'm curious to see how that stacks up compared to the original Riders.
Well, that's not...
I'm not playing with the fucking Kinect. If you want to play the Kinect version, you can do it. I ain't.
Well, that's not nearly as fun as what I had in mind. Whatever. Richie, any cool digital-themed levels that you can think of?
Eli put me on the spot with these big, broad-reaching questions of every video game ever.
Well, you don't play the fucking 2D game, so I have to ask you something.
I mean, to be fair, my brain always seems to go back to Kirby's Epic Yarn for some reason as just having really fun usages of pretty much every kind of possible level theme that you could imagine. And I think it's just because I've played that game so many different times and recorded it that it's just sort of embedded itself in my psyche.
The shmup levels in Epic Yarn
that
are in these space areas in particular are really cool, and that piece of music that they play,
Outer Rings,
Outer Rings, that is such a fantastic piece of music. I love that.
Well, you went with Kirby, which is not Sonic. I will go with Digital Circuit from Shadow the Hedgehog, which I'm surprised neither of you brought up.
With Shadow the Hedgehog, that's one of the side levels for the other routes. People remember the ones from, like, the neutral route, and the others are like, I remember Lost Impact.
God.
Not for the right reasons, but I remember Lost Impact.
Oh, I remember this set piece fucking me over in the stream.
Oh.
This is one of the ones where it's getting a bit too close to you just have to just know which hazards are coming. And so, yes, as you can imagine, this was also another level that had a lot of outtakes. But yeah, to answer your question, Tom, I'll take a cop-out answer and say everything from Pulse Man.
Fair enough, I guess.
I mean, that level, that game, I mean, like, it has some really over-the-top visuals to a potentially dangerous degree in some, I would say, if you're playing it full screen. But, God, when it hits, it really fucking hits.
It sure does, mate.
Rare footage of someone actually using the somersault in a 2D Sonic game.
Oh, there you go.
The attack does swap out depending on which character you have as a partner as well, but I use it so rarely that I couldn't begin to tell you what the other ones are outside of Cream, because it's just the broken chow move again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey! Yeah! Hey, Cream. Long time no see, Sonic.
She said the line.
I'm triggered. Taking a walk with cheese, of course. But we're lost. Yeah, you can tell me that, Cream. This is the internet. You may select Cream now.
This isn't Chronicles, so I'm not gonna do that just yet.
Fair enough.
It's kind of frustrating how one of my least favourite characters in the whole series has been completely broken in multiple games. She's broken in Advance 2, she's kind of broken as a partner character here, and Chronicles having that instant heal attack speaks for itself.
I would just think she's super based. I wouldn't call her broken per se.
Well, I mean, like, it kind of defeats the point of having a magic point system if you have a character who refreshes your magic point system every fucking turn.
Counterpoint, if you miss a single thing in the quick time event, you just fail the move.
Yeah, but it's easy once you realise how to do it. So even if you miss one on occasion, you're still overpowered.
Whatever.
I mean, the other counterpoint that I'd throw in there is that you're playing Chronicles. Anything to get that game completed sooner than anything is worth it.
It's fine. Go watch the playthrough for my full arguments. But that one's just Pong. So yeah, if you know how to play Pong, you saw it. That was an oddly violent explosion.
He's fine.
Of course he's fine. He's always fine.
How many times are we going to pay for this? We better lawyer up and quick. So there you have it, folks. Another 3 stages down. And next time we will bring Advance 3 and indeed HellfireComms in 2025 to a close. So, come back then. I have to pad for a bit. Panic for a bit.
More rainbow, more rainbow.
And we're done. See ya!